Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and like, follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to the Spiritual Grind again.
Good morning.
I just want to take a minute and thank all of our listeners.
Absolutely.
I am glad you all download us and put up with our shenanigans. We enjoy doing it, and we're glad that you are here to support us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. It's a fun little hoedown.
So, we're doing what with hose? You didn't invite me? Oh, you mean gardening? Okay, we're gardening with hose. Well, guys, we've been dealing and talking about our relationship podcasts. And we were talking about spiritual sex, and we were talking about, we had a couple episodes on spiritual sex. And then we're also talking about appreciation.
When you say spiritual sex, you mean sex, but looking at it from a spiritual standpoint.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what it says in the description, too.
I didn't know if you were meaning like Tantra or
No.
something like that.
I'm not smart. I can't even spell Tantra.
Well, you know, there may be some listeners that haven't been following us that are just tuning in.
Yeah.
And just for clarity purposes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify.
Nice. Appreciate the clarity.
For others.
We like clarity.
We like it.
So, today, do you have a topic today?
I don't.
You don't?
No. My article that I wrote this morning was about near-death experiences.
Oh, that would be a great topic. Actually, because I had a topic, but that sounds like a much more fun topic.
Oh, well, I printed the article off. It was a quick little 1,200 words.
Oh, just a quick little 1,200 words. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, what came up for me, we like to watch that ancient alien little episode thing. What do you call it? Season, series?
Ancient aliens?
Yeah. And they were talking about in the particular episode we watched, which I think we've seen it before. I think we've seen them all. They were talking about near-death experiences and how the scientific world is still trying to put it off as some sort of endorphin release that causes the mind to do these weird, peculiar things to try and explain some people's experiences with it because there's people out there that have had experiences where they can actually see events going on in an operating room or in an ER, and they describe it as they're hovering over their own body, watching this technique being done or the conversations, and they can, when they come back into their physical body, they can actually quote people word for word, and it's turning science on its head, basically, because they don't understand how can that happen. But they're doing what science does, which is to kind of push it to the side and say, it's some sort of chemical release inside the body and the brain.
Yeah.
That
causes
makes
these illusions.
Absolutely no logical sense the way that they're trying to dismiss it.
This sounds like a bunch of hooey to me.
A bunch of hogwash.
Bunch of hooey gooey yuckiness.
And I, having experienced it not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Congratulations.
Have a different perspective on my interpretation of it for myself. And it's just for myself on what it is and why it happens. Of course, the metaphysicians in the metaphysical world see it much differently. And, oftentimes we try and provide information for the scientific world to help them, have some more stuff to explore. So
get out of their science book and actually figure something out. I mean, because here's my thought on that.
Look at it from a different standpoint.
The scientists and doctors like to teach us that everybody's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But yet, why is it that everybody that has near-death experiences almost verbatim describe it exactly the same?
I mean, I can't even go that far because there's some people that have their near-death experiences in the NDEs, as coined the phrase NDEs.
NDEs
are definitely much different. There are some out there that have described very shadow-like, hell-like experiences that kind of scared the shit out of them.
Right.
So there's varying degrees of experiences that are taking place out there. But you're right. There is a very large percentage that describe the going into the warm light and some aspects of it that are very similar.
Yeah. And what I find interesting, because I actually studied these at one time, because there was one time when I was younger and I had been on a drunken stupor bender.
Why am I not surprised?
I had probably partied for 4 or 5 days, and I sat in my living room floor and I wondered how, when I woke up the next morning, did I have a complete conversation with my dead grandfather. And so I often wondered if that was an NDE for me at that time, because who knows? It's pretty crazy back then for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you read my article at any point in your life, you'll see how I explain that type of experience as well.
Yeah.
Because we all come with the abilities to do all of these different things. It's just what limits us from being able to do any one of these special gifts is our beliefs or fears or perception around them and our abilities, our perceived ability to do it. That's what blocks us from being able to embrace any aspect of it, whether it's completely leave my body and then come back, or whether it's talking to dead people when I'm in a what would you call it? Coke coma?
Yeah, Coke. A coca. A coca. A coca. Yeah.
A Coke coma.
A Coke coma.
Whatever. A party near death party experience.
Well, I had a second one too when I was 14. My mom had sent me home with one of her employees and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And to take me home, which was like 24 miles down the road, down Highway 20 in Oklahoma. And they got to arguing going down the highway, and there was 3 of us sitting in the front of this Chevy Love pickup, which if you don't know what a Chevy Love pickup is, they're those itty-bitty old pickups.
Yeah, the little bitty ones without an extended cab probably.
Yeah, no, it was a single cab.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much hanging out the passenger window because at this time I had went through my growth spurt, and I was pretty tall and pretty lanky, and I was hanging out the passenger window, and they got to arguing going down the road and got in this fight, and she had to be doing 80 or 90. And she crossed over into the other lane, and we had a 1-ton Ford Dually head on.
Wow. Yeah.
It was crazy. I was ejected from the vehicle through the windshield. And I don't remember anything about it other than my face going through the windshield.
Yeah.
Well, and let me rephrase that. I didn't remember anything about it. But I started having these visions, I guess, of it.
Yeah.
In this cloudy area.
Yeah.
Of me going through the windshield and looking while I'm watching myself going through the windshield and looking back and seeing Kim hit the windshield. The person was driving was named Kim, and she hit the windshield and the cut her throat. I mean, she almost died right there on the spot, and she broke both her legs. It was a crazy thing. And then her boyfriend Paul, who was in the mental, he wasn't driving because he had been drinking. And that's what they were fighting about. It was a 5-speed. And I seen him disappear under the dash as I'm watching it in the video. And still to this day, nobody knows where that gear shift went, by the way. I said to put that out there. But
bend over.
I didn't know. It disappeared. But the truck was annihilated.
Yeah.
Literally, the bed of the truck was folded over on top of the cab where it had just accordioned down. And I got lucky and went through. But I walked somehow. I got up and walked in because it happened right in front of a convenience store.
Yeah.
When she crossed over in that lane, somebody was pulling out of the convenience store in this big 1-ton Ford Dually, and neither one of them were hurt. It broke his left ankle. That was it. Because he had it was a ranching area.
Right.
But what the point I was getting to is I got up and walked into the convenience store and asked them to call 911. And the lady said, "Oh, you're okay, son. Go ahead and sit down," because I was bleeding profusely from my forehead.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting down and crunching when I sat down, and I don't remember because my back was so jacked in my neck at the time. But I just remember having this crunching sound, and I had broke my collarbone. But or I didn't break it. It wasn't a full sever, but it was crunching when I was moving my neck. It was moving around. I could hear it. I think I could hear the grinding in my ears, but nobody else could. I don't know. But I had visions of this happening. And I often wondered if it didn't kill me. And I just happened to refuse to leave at that time and came back. Because I got up literally off the highway. I remember I watched myself. I brushed off my clothes. And I'm looking and I'm bleeding everywhere. There's blood everywhere. And I have no idea where it's coming from because I couldn't feel my head. And then next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. And so I don't know if that vision's real, if that really happened. To this day, I have no idea if that really happened. All I know is I told him to call 911 because that was right after 911 started. And the lady knew my parents. I said, "You can call my mom too if you would." And they life flighted Kim and Paul out. And I don't know what happened to me. I don't know how I ended up in the hospital. All I know is I ended up in the hospital. And I woke up with my family and everybody standing around me holding my hand.
I see.
It was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you'll have to check in with it for yourself. And
because it's very much in a fog, like people describe it in my vision.
Right.
And so I often wondered.
That's the thing. Like with any of the air quote gifts, special gifts, we tend to dismiss them as something more humanly logical because we've taught ourselves to do so based on the acceptability of the collective or the society.
Right.
And in doing that, you actually can kind of block yourself from knowing
what happened,
what actually happened.
The crazy
Unless
part.
It's absolutely necessary that you know the finite details for expansion of your journey or for, some part of the mission that you came here for. And it's vital that you know the details and know for sure beyond a shadow of a doubt that it happened.
I know that situation changed the perspective on how I changed my perspective on life.
How so?
Well, because then I was more...
Because when it happened, you were about how old?
I was 14. I had just turned 14.
Yeah.
And it was in the summer. It was probably it was July 4th weekend. I know what it was. July 4th weekend in the summer after I turned 14.
Yeah.
And it changed my perspective because it made me realize how tough the human body is and how invincible we really can be if we want to be.
Yeah.
And it was, I guess it just made me feel like I could take on the world. I guess is
Even more than you already thought you could.
Yeah, I mean, you know what's funny about it is that gas station is the gas station that I actually worked at on Saturdays, load and feed.
Right.
But in my vision, I walk in and hey, lady, but I know all of them.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a weird situation.
That you referred to her as lady.
Yeah. Instead of calling her by her name.
Right.
Which it was Dottie was her name.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of saying, hey, Dottie, because I used to go in there all the time. That was the store my mom used to send me to buy cigarettes on my bicycle when I was 8.
Yeah.
And I would go in there and I would get sandwiches and stuff. Now that I was earning money and started hauling hay, and her husband is the one I hauled all the hay for.
Yeah.
And it was so I knew them personally, but in my remembering of it, I didn't call her by her name. I was like, hey, lady, can you call 911? And she didn't call me by my name. And so that's why I wondered if it was just a vision of what had happened and that really didn't happen. You know what I mean? It was like one of those NDEs that, you just don't really know if it's factual or not, because I don't know.
Right. So what could have possibly happened is it's rabbit hole.
Okay.
You want a sandwich?
I went to the higher heavens and they said, no, you're not welcome yet. You got to go back.
No, what could have happened is that you definitely had an NDE. You're laying in the road, and instead of you presenting yourself as you, creating such an alarm or, oh my God, panic state to Dottie, you may have, in a spiritual version of you, cloaked yourself in a different suit, so to speak, so that she didn't see you as little Jimmy.
Yeah.
She saw you as somebody else so that she could keep her tactful mind about her and call 911 and get help. Whereas if you had gone in as the little Jimmy she knew, bleeding, near death, it may have put her in a state of utter panic to where she wasn't able to do anything for you to help because her system completely shut down.
Later on, I asked her if she remembered me coming in and telling her to call 911. And she just looked at me like I was crazy. So I don't really know, but that was later on.
Right. So, I mean, like I said, that could have been what happened is you presented as an individual that she didn't recognize to save the panic so that she could keep herself together and not have that emotional attachment to somebody she recognized in that state, and be able to call 911 and get help there as quick as possible. It's a spiritual orchestration.
Yeah, it could be. And, I don't know to this day. I still don't know what transpired. I do remember Kim was jacked up, man. She had a brain bleed. They had to do surgery, open cranial surgery on her. And Paul, I don't know, that guy was just too drunk. I think he was just too drunk to get hurt. All he did was have 2 cuts on his wrist from hitting the windshield or something. And we still don't know where the gear shift went. But that whole experience, we were lucky because the fire department was like right there, a quarter mile from the fire department. And so they were there pretty quickly. But, it was a lucky situation. And I often wondered if that wasn't a near-death experience for me.
Possibly. You just have to check in and see how it feels for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll get the information and sometimes you won't. If it's a necessary piece of information that you need to continue with your mission, then you'll be given the information.
Yeah.
Just a matter of asking for clarity and then allowing the information to come in. But that's with any topic, really.
Yeah. A lot of people don't believe in them. I've had this conversation with people.
Well, of course. I mean, that's why the different perspectives are out there, is that they're still toggling around with what happens to the human consciousness or the essence.
Right.
Does it live only in the brain or does it go somewhere else? And a lot of people cannot wrap their mind around or conceptualize the fact that there's this consciousness that can live out there in the quantum
World.
etheric world without it being attached to a physical thing. They just can't wrap their mind around it, especially highly scientific brains. They tend to have trouble with that kinds of concepts.
Yeah, I know. Which is what the metaphysicians do. They challenge the physicians and the
scientists. There's a place for us all.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. You know, I had a conversation one time with one of our former customers at our previous employment. He had a brain bleed.
Yeah.
And when I told him, no, you're going to the hospital, because he wasn't making any sense. He was laying on the floor, not making any sense.
Right.
And then after they found out and they fixed it and he came back and he told me, he's like, I was sitting there dancing with my wife.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, huh? What do you mean dancing? He's like, I don't know. I was, when I came to and realized I was in the back of the ambulance, I was dancing with my wife, and she had died.
Prior to that.
Yeah, she had died, a year or so before that.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty, I was like, so was that a near-death experience? And of course, he's staunch.
Right.
He was like, oh, no, I don't think so. If God wanted to take me, he'd take me now.
So by definition, near-death experience is defined as having no viable signs of life in the physical body, meaning no heartbeat, no respirations, and usually no brain activity.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll let the brain activity part of it slide because the brain activity can sometimes still exist even after the heart and the respirations have stopped.
Well, they just proved that scientifically. We just seen that show the other night that showed that.
So to answer your question, what he had was not, by definition, the NDE that other people are explaining.
Well, is there a time limit on it? Because it could have happened.
No. So what happens is, so that humans don't have to experience the full embodiment of the physical body hurting, or the fear of losing consciousness, or pain, or some of that. There is a point in time where your higher self will remove you from the physical body so that you don't have to feel those things or have fear, but your heart still beats and your lungs still breathe.
Subconscious compartmentalize, I guess, maybe.
Well,
something like that.
Whatever. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm just making some fancy word up, making me sound
And
smart.
so that's much different than a true near-death experience where you have no actual vital signs, so to speak. There is no heart rhythm on the monitor. There is no respirations taking place. Like you literally have, like you see on TV, this line that goes across the screen. So what he was having was he was taken to a temporary holding place with his consciousness, just so that he didn't and was waiting and holding, so that he didn't have to necessarily lay there and know that things are not right. This is not right. Let me get anxious. Let me get scared.
Oh, what you're saying.
Fear.
Yeah, I get it.
Because
you're saying that his body created that to compartmentalize the fear of dying. Created the vision.
Or higher self.
Higher self, yeah.
Right. Took his consciousness to, or showed him.
I'm smelling what you're stepping in.
Come and let's sit in this healing place, and here, dance with your wife while you wait. And would you
Can you entertain her? Because I'm really kind of take care of her for a few minutes.
Would you like a martini?
I get it. Yeah. I get it.
And so there are holding places within the realm of multi-dimensional, multiverse situations.
Okay.
which are different than near.
What was that?
Yeah, I don't know. Near-death experiences.
I don't know what just happened, but that was...
My tongue got all twisted up and tripped over the words. NDE.
NDE.
Those are two separate situations.
Yeah.
So that's what was happening with him.
So you're going to tell us
And the
about
rabbit hole situation in that was by design. You were supposed to find him and call 911 and take him through the gateway to come back.
Yeah, he wasn't responding to me when I found him.
And that was all structured.
He was just laying on the floor.
It was just a moment for him to get to go back and see his wife.
Yeah.
And have a dancing experience. And sometimes we have to move away from the physical body to be able to do that, especially if we have very strong, staunch beliefs that won't let us do that in our dream state.
Yeah, I get it.
And so there have to be sometimes situations that remove us from the monkey mind and the belief system so that we can go into a much deeper kind of hypnotic brain state or mind state to be able to take us to that realistic feeling place of interacting with the non-physical.
Yeah. And I know he was his staunch religious views when I have a near-death experience or what, and he was like, oh no, if God wouldn't take me, he'd take me now.
Right. And those beliefs would not have ever let him have that deep kind of visceral experience of dancing with his wife like he had whenever he had this brain bleed.
Yeah.
And so sometimes in order to create that, we have to put them in, I'm sorry, I'm channeling.
Yeah.
They're telling me that they have to put people, humans, in situations where they release their humanness completely in order to give them the kind of experience that they long for. Okay. So with him, he could have been very well sitting around wishing that he had one more opportunity to just dance with his wife because that was his sweet, sweet memory.
Yeah.
And he, maybe that was what he was longing for. And in order to give him that opportunity to experience that, because of his very staunch and very rigid beliefs around death and dying or meditation or whatever, they couldn't raise his frequency high enough to get him detached enough through dream state to be able to take him in and really let him feel like he was dancing with his wife instead of it being a dream.
Yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm.
And so they put him in a situation where it had to be a situation that he could make logical sense out of.
Yeah.
When he came back around to his physical body.
I get it.
And so for him, the logical part of that was, I had a brain bleed. And so I am part of the scientific world that if I'm going to go, I'm going to go. So what happened is that my mind took me to a place that was more pleasant while I was injured.
Yeah.
And then I came back around when I was fixed by modern medicine. He can digest that a lot easier than he could where you were trying to take him. Right?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
So that's kind of how that works.
So you're going to tell us about yours?
Oh, yeah, of course. Sure.
Okay.
So my journey, it looks like this. This is my journey. So as a child, I can remember going to sleep at night and having what some people would call astral projecting kind of like scenarios where I would lay in bed and I could literally feel myself coming out of my physical body. And there was a part of me that found it curious, but then there was another part of me that is scared.
Uh-huh.
And so I created a fear around it. It happened several times, but it scared me because as a child, I didn't really understand it. And the fear then made it stop happening.
Okay.
But at that time, it was just an introductory level of getting me used to being detached from the physical body.
Okay.
I didn't know that at the time.
Fair enough.
So then for me, I had the procedure where I ended up with a pacemaker. And, and so by accident, they ablated part of my heart and weren't expecting to. I ended up with a pacemaker, long story short.
Can you imagine what the surgery was like?
Right.
When the doctor was like, hey, all the nurses come running, and he's like,
right. He was probably cussing.
I'm sure.
My experience was not the traditional, I went into the warm light kind of thing in that particular one. But that's not what it was for. It was training wheels for me.
Okay.
I do have a vague recollection of hearing them talk.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the statements that was made is, oh shit, she has no pulse.
Oh shit.
I do remember hearing that.
Yeah.
At the time that all went on in my life, I didn't think much of it. That wasn't the focus.
Right.
The focus was WTF. I go in for a procedure. I'm supposed to be in and out the same day. I go home, all is well. I'm still there at 7:00 at night when I come out of anesthesia. And
14 hours later.
And I have all these wires attached to me. And I'm like, why the F am I still here? And why do I look like I am half robot? Like, what is going on? And my family's all gathered around me, giving me that, oh my God, we thought you were dead. Look. And so I'm just trying to figure out, why am I not at home and why am I still here? Like, very bewildered.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Confused.
Not kind of understanding, because the way the procedure was explained to me is I'd go in at 7. They would do a little exploration, and I would be
eating lunch at noon
and having lunch quite possibly at home by noon.
Yeah.
And so I didn't do the whole call your family, call your mother, call your father, please be here while I go in for this procedure. Long-term, like, what do I do with my kids long-term?
Yeah.
So the neighbor was literally watching them until I got home. And like, I made temporary plans for life.
Probably not the best idea.
Well, the way they explained to me.
I get it. So I'm playing.
And fortunately, you can make the little screech noise.
Oh.
It went in a different direction. But for me, that particular episode wasn't about the near death for me. So I didn't give it a lot of focus. I kind of just was like, okay, whatever. I'm here now. Let's make the best of this situation. But what it was it was like that kindergarten, first grade, first exposure to, okay, you left your body. You came back. It was easy. It was simple. There was no pain. You were able to find your body, pop back in. No big deal.
Mama, I'm coming home.
So then the second time it happened, I had my breasts lifted after years of breastfeeding. They got a little droopy.
Well, I lift them all the time.
It is nice when you hold them because they're heavy. Surgery was 5 or 6, I don't know, 8 hours long. I don't even know. What happened is I was wheeled into the recovery room, and the anesthesiologist, I guess, felt it necessary to give me a little extra pain medicine so that when I started to come fully around, I wasn't in pain. Well, as you well know, I don't take a lot of medications.
Nope.
So I am highly, highly receptive.
Sensitive, yeah.
to pain medication. I literally take a 200 milligram Advil when I'm having pain, and I cut it in fourths.
Yeah.
That's how receptive my body is to pain medicine.
Right.
So she gave me a large dose of it, and I decided that I was going to stop breathing.
Oh, that's nice.
When I came into the recovery room. And
just want to make sure that their code kit was all set up.
I guess so. Get ready, because we're going to test your
abilities today.
We're going to test your abilities today. And so I decided to stop breathing.
Oh.
And then
all you hear is code blue, code blue, code blue.
No.
Code blue, code blue.
Well, so the way it was described to me, because you have to remember, I had this procedure done in the hospital where I work.
Oh, so you knew everybody too.
So all these people knew me. And so they shared the aftermath of it with me. I didn't get treated like an average patient outside of here.
Oh my God, Jenny, you died.
Don't ever effing do that to us again, you bitch.
Yeah. If you're going to do that, you have to have expressed written permission.
Apparently, there was not anyone really standing there, and I didn't breathe long enough to where the heart actually stopped as well for a minute.
Wow, so they had nobody observing you?
They didn't. I didn't do anything about it. I'm just like, okay, as your shift leader, next time I come in to have a procedure,
I am going to kick your ass if you do that.
You better be standing by. And they're like, okay, well, if you decide to stop breathing and you decide to stop heart beating, we're going to kick your ass right back. Again, for me, it wasn't about going into the light and having that whole drawn out experience. This was still training wheels for me. Of let us show you again. We can pop out and you can pop back in very easy and find that frequency. So I do remember hearing them conversate over my body. I remember seeing different individuals. Like I'm at the foot of the bed outside of my body, and I see the different nurses and the anesthesiologist. They brought the crash cart over, and then that's all of my remembrance of it.
Okay.
But again, it later on was given to me in the complete download of the purpose of it, which was, it wasn't meant for me to have this full on exit experience. It was just training wheels to work me through the fear that had been created as a child.
Okay.
Piece by piece, layer by layer.
Yeah.
Then we fast forward to my third experience, which was the big kahuna. I call it the big kahuna.
Yeah.
That you were involved in.
Yeah. Yeah, that was not
And
fun.
my perception of the experience and your perception of the experience were two entirely different experiences.
Yes. I did not enjoy this at all.
Right. So we had been in the hot tub and
first we had been out drinking at the bar all night and we were pretty lit.
Yeah. So we had been drinking. We decided to get in the hot tub. Then
and smoke a left-handed cigarette.
We decided to get out. You were like, "Oh, I'm ready to get out, I think," right? And
yes.
And you asked me.
Yeah, I said, "Are you ready to get out?" I was getting hot.
Yeah. And I said, "Yeah, I'm ready to get out." And that's literally the last thing I remember.
Yeah, I stood up and I got out of the hot tub. I turned around to hand her her towel and she's in the water. I'm like, what the?
Like face down?
Face down in the water. Yeah, you were like in the under the water. I was like, and so I was like, "What are you doing?" And you didn't say anything. It didn't even move. Your eyes weren't even open, actually. And when I realized your eyes weren't open because it was dark.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
yeah, because this was like at what, like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, it's probably 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And we were both butt naked.
Right.
And keep in mind, we're in my parents' hot tub. at my parents'
You
house.
don't get in the hot tub with your clothes on, anyways.
And so I get out of the hot tub, I turn back around, and she's in the water, underneath the water, and all I see is the bloop bloop of the air pop up. I think because I had turned the hot tub off.
Right. So the water was still, is what you're saying.
Yeah, the water was still. Yeah.
Okay. So when you saw the bubbles,
I was like, "What the fuck?"
Is that what dinged you to something's wrong?
Yeah.
And
And so I just reach down and grab you and turn you over, bring your head out of the thing, and you're not breathing. You're not even, your eyes are closed. And I'm like, what the heck? And so I just lift you up and drag you out of the hot tub and set you on the ground butt naked. You have no pulse. You're not responding. And I finally was like, listen, lady, you need to wake your ass up or I'm calling 911. and
wet, slimy body that is
and
dead weight.
I was hollering at my mom and dad. They were all the way across the other side of the house because I didn't have no cell phone or nothing out there. We were both butt naked.
And they probably had their hearing aids out with their headsets on.
Yep, watching TV. Because that's how they sleep. They sleep with their headsets on.
Right.
And so finally I was like, I covered you up with a towel. I went to grab my cell phone and I came back and I'm literally dialing 911. I'm like, I'm dialing 911. You better wake up. And I get the one dialed and you start waking up. And I was like, what? Because you had no pulse. I checked for your pulse. There was no pulse. You were not breathing and you were not responding. I even broke your leg or cracked your leg pulling you out of the hot tub.
So on my side of things, here's what it looked like. On my side of things, I have the bright light affair happen. Like I just was surrounded by this bright light, but not like as if you're looking in the sun and it's uncomfortable bright light. It's a soft, warm, engulfing light. Like it encapsulates.
Wasn't very warm to me.
And in that light, what I found was that what was presented to me were two light entities representing themselves as a mother figure, father figure.
Yeah.
And it was like a family reunion. It was like, oh, welcome home. But it was all communication was all telepathic. There was no verbal mouth communication. It was all telepathic. But the conversation was like, oh, we're so glad to see you and welcome home. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad to be here. It feels so warm and inviting and so much love and peace. And oh, it's so good to be home. That was such a hard journey. And it was just like a family reunion of I came home from college or whatever, right? And
wasn't for me.
It felt like I was there for a minute.
Oh yeah, you was there for a minute.
No. A quick minute.
Yeah. Oh.
It didn't feel like it was as long as it was on your side of the thing.
Oh, it felt like forever on my side of the thing.
No,
I had no idea how long it was.
I feel like in a snap, like I wasn't there long enough.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, I feel like I'd only been there like seconds. Next thing you know, they're telling me, okay, it's time to go back. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go back. I am staying here. And they're like, no, you can't. You have more things that you have to do. You've got to go back. And I'm like, no, I'm not going back. I like it here. I like the way it feels. And it's yucky back there. I'm not going back. And they're like, yep, you're going back. Love you. And whoop. And then I remember like opening my eyes barely.
I was right in the process about to slap the crap out of you.
But the biggest thing I remember is you were literally yelling to the top of your lungs right in my ear. And I remember saying, oh my God, why are you yelling at me?
Yeah.
Because, bitch, you weren't breathing and you didn't have a pulse. I was like, okay, I'm fine. Stop yelling. You're being so loud. And I was scolding you for being loud because I was disoriented and didn't know even.
What did the last 3.5 minutes
I went and visited
transpired?
family. Where were you at? Why didn't you go with me?
Yeah.
And it was like a in and out thing. It was very, very quick on my side of things. From you telling the story, you said it was much longer than
Oh, yeah. It had
just
to be 3.5 minutes at least.
Yeah. From my perspective, it was like seconds.
All I know is she said, I didn't want to come back. What?
But the experience is absolutely
playing with you.
Undescribable until you go to that place and can experience it. There are no human words to really describe the feeling of just the unconditional, warm, welcoming love of just being in the presence of that natural state of being.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if we could find that every day, all day long, this world would be a much different place.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. 100%.
And so I think in a quick way, if we can, the point of this podcast is to make sure y'all should watch that episode on Ancient Aliens, because it was very eye-opening for me that they're actually studying it now.
Yeah.
And that there is, according to the science that I've seen on the show, which I haven't done any research on, I didn't plan on doing that, but they are saying that they can prove now that consciousness moves on after death.
Yeah.
But I haven't looked at that up yet, but that's what they're claiming. And so if you or anybody else that guys, have had a near-death experience, and hey, share this podcast with them, tag them in it, put the story in the comments. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, for sure.
And if it's a good enough story, maybe we'll guest invite you on, and you can tell everybody on the air. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would. It would be interesting to hear each individual person's experience.
Yep.
Of their NDE, for sure.
Yep. All right. Don't forget, guys. Hey, we are doing the Power of Positive Thought workshop at the Holistic House in Holly Hill, Florida, starting on October 3rd. It is a 16-week workshop. It goes into January of next year, and it's $25 a week, or you can buy the whole course for $348, and you can get that on Eventbrite, or you can call Holistic House in Holly Hill, Florida, and make reservations there.
Yeah, real quick, I was noticing on Eventbrite, it's got the pricing a little wonky and hard to understand.
Yeah.
So you'll have to
So
look into that.
Tickets are $25, and then Eventbrite charges their fee, and then there's taxes for event scheduling.
Oh, I see. So if you go through them,
yeah, it's going to be a little bit more if you go through Eventbrite, but you can pay for the whole course all at once right there. You can do that at the Holistic House as well. And the Salty Tarot store is open.
Yeah. Go shopping.
Go get you some spiritual grind garb.
Yeah.
Or some Salty Tarot garb. The app is underway. We have POC ready and working on some other stuff. So it's going well. I am going to put up the holiday pack try to get that done tomorrow.
Of the coffee?
For the coffee. Yeah.
Yay.
Get that on the store so you can buy it there. The Spiritual Grind Coffee Talk set. It's going to have a pound of our coffee and 2 coffee mugs that say the Spiritual Grind with our pretty little faces on them.
Nice.
And so, anyway, follow, and share. Don't forget to hit up the website, www.themerckcenters.org. Tell all your friends about us.
And ring that bell.
Hey, you all have an awesome day.
Love ya.